I just noticed behind me John Deere tractors. I know a lot about John Deere. I love the company. But as you know, they've announced a few days ago that they're going to move a lot of their manufacturing business to Mexico. I'm just notifying John Deere right now. If you do that, we're putting a 200% tariff on everything that you want to sell into the United States.
John Deere, once the trusted name that symbolized American agriculture, is now under fire for decisions that many see as a betrayal of farmers and workers alike. Recent moves, such as outsourcing jobs to Mexico and imposing strict repair restrictions on its equipment, have stirred widespread outrage across rural America. Once revered for its commitment to the farming community, the company is now accused of prioritizing profits over people, leaving farmers and workers questioning their loyalty to this once iconic brand. As these decisions ripple through the agricultural heartland, a fierce debate is emerging about the future of farming and the rights of those who feed the nation. So what exactly went wrong for John Deere? The company's decision to relocate the production of key equipment like skid steers and compact track loaders from its long-established facilities in Iowa and Illinois to Mexico has sent shockwaves through U.S. farming and manufacturing communities. For decades, these factories were not only symbols of American innovation, but also vital economic lifelines for local towns. The move, driven largely by the lure of lower labor costs, allows John Deere to significantly cut expenses. In Mexico, workers earn a fraction of what U.S. employees make. For instance, Mexican production managers earn around $44 per hour compared to $56 or more in the U.S. While this difference may boost the company's bottom line, it has left thousands of American workers unemployed. In September 2023 alone, John Deere laid off more than 2,000 workers from its Iowa and Illinois plants, with additional cuts expected as the relocation continues into 2025. These layoffs have devastated not only individual families, but also entire communities whose economies rely on John Deere's presence. For many, the company's decision feels like a betrayal, raising questions about its commitment to the country that helped it grow into a farming powerhouse. Adding to the backlash is John Deere's enforcement of strict repair controls on its equipment. Farmers who have relied on the brand for generations now find themselves locked out of repairing their own machinery, forced instead to rely on expensive authorized services. This policy has sparked accusations of corporate overreach, with many seeing it as yet another example of John Deere putting profits over the people who sustain their business. As these controversies unfold, the company's image as a titan of American agriculture is quickly eroding. Once seen as a partner to farmers and workers, John Deere now faces growing discontent from the very communities it was built to serve. The decisions to outsource jobs and restrict repairs may boost profits in the short term, but the long-term cost to trust and loyalty could be far greater. The future of farming and the livelihoods of countless workers hangs in the balance as John Deere's actions ignite a nationwide reckoning. For years, families and businesses in small towns have depended on John Deere's manufacturing jobs to make ends meet. These jobs didn't just provide paychecks, they sustained entire communities. But now many are left asking a painful question. Does John Deere still care about American workers? The company's latest decision to relocate jobs to Mexico is only the latest in a string of moves that critics say reveal a troubling trend. Over the years, John Deere has been accused of prioritizing profits at the expense of the very people who built its success. With the Mexico transition looming, the outrage is growing louder, and calls for action to hold the company accountable are gaining momentum. Could this be the beginning of the end for John Deere's reputation as a cornerstone of American agriculture? For the thousands of workers facing layoffs, this isn't just about losing their jobs. It's about watching their communities fall apart. In small towns where John Deere has long been the economic backbone, the effects of these cuts are devastating. Take Dubuque, Iowa, for example. For years, the John Deere facility there has been a key driver of the local economy. But with operations scaling back as part of the Mexico move, the town is bracing for an uncertain future. When a major employer like John Deere pulls out, the fallout is widespread. Adding insult to injury, John Deere claims that declining sales, reportedly down 20%, are the reason for these cuts. But critics argue the real motivation is greed, not necessity. The company has reported record-breaking profits in the same period it's been laying off workers. Many suspect that John Deere is using the drop in demand as a convenient excuse to slash costs and maximize shareholder returns. One former employee from Illinois, who worked for the company for over 20 years, called it a slap in the face. He explained, "We were always told we were like family, that John Deere was committed to American workers. Now they're taking away our jobs and leaving us with nothing. It's clear they care more about their bottom line than the people who built this company." His story is far from unique. Similar accounts are fueling a growing wave of anger and distrust toward the company. The backlash hasn't gone unnoticed by political leaders. High-profile figures from across the political spectrum, including Donald Trump and Senator Elizabeth Warren, have weighed in, demanding answers and action. As political pressure mounts and communities continue to voice their frustration, the question remains: will John Deere change its course? Or is this the new reality for a company once synonymous with American agriculture? During a recent roundtable in Pennsylvania, former President Donald Trump issued a bold ultimatum. If John Deere proceeds with its relocation to Mexico, he would impose a 200% tariff on their products, effectively pricing their equipment out of reach for American farmers. If John Deere wants to abandon American workers, they'll pay the price, Trump declared. Such a tariff could be catastrophic for the agricultural industry, already under strain from rising costs and tight margins. A tractor currently priced at $100,000 could jump to $300,000, making it unaffordable for many farmers. While supporters see the move as a necessary step to protect American jobs, others warn of unintended consequences, including higher costs for farmers and a competitive edge for foreign manufacturers. Senator Elizabeth Warren has taken aim at John Deere's repair restrictions, arguing that they harm small farmers and undermine their independence. John Deere's software locks prevent farmers from repairing their own equipment, forcing them to rely on authorized dealers. These policies have created what Warren calls a captive market, where farmers are left with no choice but to pay for costly, often delayed repairs. Warren's criticism highlights a broader issue. By restricting access to repair tools and data, John Deere is not only hurting its workers, but also its customers, the very farmers who depend on their equipment to make a living. The debates sparked by John Deere's actions have placed the company in a precarious position. Trump's proposed tariffs and Warren's push for repair rights have made it a symbol in the larger fight over corporate accountability. While some argue that strong measures like tariffs are necessary to protect American workers, others, like entrepreneur Mark Cuban, warn of potential fallout. Cuban criticized Trump's tariff proposal, calling it insane, and argued that it could backfire by making foreign competitors more attractive to American farmers. According to Cuban, such strategies fail to address the root causes of outsourcing and risk further harm to U.S. consumers. John Deere's repair policies have added fuel to the growing right-to-repair movement, which advocates for laws requiring companies to provide the tools, software, and data needed for independent repairs. For farmers, this fight is deeply personal. It's about maintaining control over the tools that sustain their livelihoods. Many farmers have shared stories of lost time and income due to repair delays. One farmer recounted losing 2.5 days of productivity during planting season because of a computer issue with his tractor. The repair required an authorized dealer, costing him not just money, but critical time during a short planting window. These stories are galvanizing support for change. States like Colorado have introduced legislation aimed at dismantling the barriers companies like John Deere have put in place. The movement has implications far beyond farming, representing a broader fight for consumer rights in an era where proprietary technology increasingly locks down products. As the backlash grows, John Deere is under mounting pressure to act. The company must navigate a minefield of political threats, public outcry, and a growing movement for repair rights. Will it reverse its decisions and rebuild trust, or will it continue down a path that risks alienating its workers and customers?